If you are Google searching how to grow your Instagram as quickly as possible, you're gonna find a lot of people that are saying they have the secret sauce, or you have to take a $5,000 class in order to learn it. And from my experience so far, going from 1,000 followers to 100,000 followers in a year, the number one thing is consistency.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Dr. Jeff Langmaid here, the Evidence Based Chiropractor, and I am fortunate to be hanging out with Grant Elliott of Rehab Fix, who's done a tremendous job building a following on Instagram. We're gonna break down some of the tactics and strategies you've utilized to get there, and also a little bit about behind the scenes on what it's like to run a page with so many people. Grant, thanks for hanging out, man.
Yes, I'm happy to be here. Great hanging out as well.
So how many followers, let's kick it right off. How many followers do you currently have on Instagram? And tell everybody a little bit about your channel.
So I have 106,000 followers growing every single day. My channel is focused on movement education and empowering others to take their health into their own hands and understand their bodies and get their daily fix of rehab, movement, and empowerment.
Love it. So how do you get interested? Like, how do you pick Instagram? How do you get interested in building an Instagram channel?
Yeah, so as a student around a little over a year ago, I started learning through Instagram. I found these other rehab accounts or educational accounts, and I started learning from them, and I saw that they were getting not necessarily a lot of followers, but a lot of engagement. People were learning from them, and they were building themselves as a person, as a future provider, and building their name. And so I thought, you know what, I'm starting to get some questions from people at home or from friends and family, so I'm gonna start posting just a couple videos of the things that I think are most important to me right now. So I started posting a couple videos here and there, got some good feedback, and had some friends from back home saying, hey, thanks for posting that. Like I started adding that to my routine, or I started changing that at my work. And I was like, wow, that's really cool to be able to have a positive influence on people that aren't necessarily right in my community. So I kind of just kept on posting slowly but surely, was posting maybe once a month, and then went to once a week, and I just kind of made the decision, hey, you know what, this could be a great way to force myself to learn how to teach through video or other ways. And so I just made the leap and really wanted to focus on Instagram because that's where I was already building my presence, and I liked building short videos, wasn't necessarily into super long videos, so I just dove right in and started growing Instagram.
With the following, I mean, a lot of times docs are starting something and it's like, that first 100 is so difficult. I guess, what were some of your keys to that first 100 followers? Was it friends and family? Was it a content direction? How'd you get those first 100 people to get hooked?
So I'm a little bit of a unique case because I actually converted my personal account to my business account. So I actually started with about 900.
Nice.
However, if I were to do it over, it definitely would be friends and family. You go out and you start your account and you follow all the initial people you want to learn from and engage with. Most likely, they're gonna follow you back and give you a little bit of a nice baseline. But from there, you just implement some good strategies, some good Instagram tactics to then continue to build. And it takes some time though.
Let's talk about some of those habits. I mean, do you find that, do you use a lot of hashtags? Is it all about DMing people? Is it all about ads to get people? What have some of your habits for growth?
So if you are Google searching how to grow your Instagram as quickly as possible, you're gonna find a lot of people that are saying they have the secret sauce, or there's some secret recipe, or you have to take a $5,000 class in order to learn it. And from my experience so far, going from 1,000 followers to 100,000 followers in a year, the number one thing is consistency. To a certain extent, it doesn't matter if the post that day you think is just absolute gold or not. You just need to post something to keep people engaged and to keep people's minds on your account. So definitely focus on consistency as much as possible, but then in regards to DMing or replying to comments, yes, you need to provide that personal touch. You need to be willing to spend time and engage with those people that follow you. And they're gonna become very, very loyal, and they're gonna start sharing your content with others. They're gonna start tagging friends in your comment. In your comment section. That's a great way to begin building a very loyal and organic following. In regards to hashtags, I'll just jump into that as well. Hashtags can kind of be wishy-washy, to be honest. Sometimes they'll be great. Sometimes it'll do nothing at all. So here's an example. I have a video that gets 50,000 views. Sometimes that video will get 20% of those views from the hashtags that I used. You're allowed to use 30 hashtags per Instagram post. It's kind of like lottery tickets. You might as well, get as many tickets as you can, so use all the hashtags. Sometimes it nails it. other times I'll get 20 views, that's it, from hashtags. So what I will say is it's worth it to put in some effort into hashtags. Yep. Don't necessarily dive into an hour-long hashtag research session to determine the absolute best ones, but do your due diligence, hashtag some things that are relevant to that post, use as many as you can, and go from there.
When did you start to see momentum? So as you started to get going, obviously you kind of transferred, as you said, you transferred your personal account to the business account, helped give you a little bit of a launching point. When did you start to see some momentum carrying with the channel, and what would you attribute it towards?
So we can relay the first 100 of other accounts to the first 1,000 of mine. So I started with around 1,000, but it took me a very long time to get to 2,000. It was a grind. Posting, almost every single day, replying to every message, replying to every comment, and also find the pages that you want to emulate, that you really respect, and you got to engage on all other forms too. You have to give and give and give for that first portion in order to grow fast and properly. So I would have my post notifications on another account. The second I got a notification that they posted something, I'd go and I'd comment something positive. Don't do the, hey, I also make these good videos. Come follow me and look at my stuff. Don't do that because everyone's gonna hate you. What you wanna do is just comment something positive. Hey, I really enjoyed this video. I like doing these sort of things as well. Or I also like doing XYZ. Provide some value and encourage what they're doing, and then they're gonna support you, and the people that see your comment are gonna support you as well, and they're gonna wanna go check out your stuff.
That makes sense. And as you've been going and growing through this, what are maybe the single biggest challenge that you've encountered? I mean, 100,000 is more than a vast array of practicing docs out there, and you're soon to be out on your own as a doc. What's been the biggest challenge that you've seen as you've grown? Either challenge growing it or challenge with managing that many people.
So now that I'm above 100,000 followers, it's definitely become kind of a task managing it all by myself because I'm filming the videos, I'm editing the videos, I'm posting them, I'm doing Facebook, email, blog, website. I'm doing all that on my own. So definitely I can understand why some people might be hesitant to kind of going down the social media route because it can be a lot to manage. But keep in mind, I have a large following at this point. If you're trying to grow, it's not too big of a commitment. Find something good to post every day and just start with that. One other thing I missed on your last question actually in regards to momentum. The first 1,000 was tough, but once I started reaching 7,000, 8,000, it started increasing. And then once I hit 10,000, then everything kind of blew off the rails, you could say. So that's when I really started gaining some good traction. So the reason why I went back, I wanted to make the point of stick with it. It was kind of discouraging at first. It was very, very hard to grow that first 1,000 or even 100. It was very, very hard. But keep with it. Don't give up. Social media is a marathon. It is not a sprint. Don't give up. Just keep doing it. Keep being consistent. Keep being ethical and transparent. And people see that. And it will grow over time if you're doing those few things.
Yeah, that's good advice. How much time are you spending now per day on Instagram, would you say?
So recently, I've tried to back off a little bit just because I've become faster. But for a while there, if you actually go to the Instagram settings, it will tell you the hours you've spent on Instagram that day. And I was averaging 3 hours every single day for like 7 months straight. Okay. So too many hours. and that doesn't include the filming, the editing, the coming up with videos, the writing. It doesn't include any of that. So I'm very much so glued to my phone. My wife's sick of it. She'll be talking to me, get off the phone, and she'll slap it out of my hands, rightfully so. But yeah, like I said, definitely take some time. I'm looking forward to the day when I can outsource it for sure. But just be consistent. You don't have to spend as much time as I do. Start with the basics and you'll be good.
So stories versus posts, I guess starting with those basics, you can post a picture or, stories allow video, etc., and that kind of scrolls across the top, whereas, the feed itself or the post kind of scrolls north and south, so to speak. Where have you seen stories versus post, more engagement? Where do you spend more time? What's some of your thoughts around that?
So with posts, I think it's important that's where you're going to develop your brand, right? So if you go to my page, every single post looks almost the exact same in regards to the formatting, the titling, everything. It's consistent, and people recognize that as branding. It's predictable, and they like that. It's familiar, and they know it's always going to be there like that. If you have totally different stuff all the time that the colors are completely different, the graphics are completely different. Sometimes that can throw some people off.
Yep.
So with my posts are obviously the primary purpose of your account. So like I said, you want to post every single day. With stories are a great opportunity to show your personal life and the behind the scenes and to build personal rapport. That's really where that is built. So for me, the more I share about my personal life, the more I share about my struggles even. Hey guys, like, you know, we're all struggling out there. I had a hard week, but you know what? I'm gonna persevere, try to be motivating, and show that you can relate to everyone and that you're not just an Instagram account. Then through your story, you can share some personal stories, some people you've been working with, and then those individuals that are following along your story, they're very loyal to you, they're very organic, and they're gonna really relate to that content on the story. So they both kind of have their own separate purpose, at least that's how I use them, but they're both very effective in their own way.
I like that. I like the idea of using kind of the feed or the post as the brand and the story, kind of showcasing the personal and behind the scenes. I think that's a great tip. And I guess for the docs out there, maybe that haven't started or they're thinking about, or maybe they've had an Instagram account, but they haven't really done anything with it except kind of, you know, scour down some other people. If you were to start a new channel today, what would be some of your goals and or actions in the first 30 days?
In the first 30 days, whew, this is a tough question. So figure out your brand and figure out your mission statement. Don't just start posting random stuff without a purpose. Start branding as soon as you can. Yes, it's important to be a person, to be, you know, like your face and your personality is gonna be very important to it as well, but you gotta build a brand behind that so it can be recognized better. In regards to initial actions, like I said, turn on your post notifications. Find those accounts that you would like to emulate. And don't copy what they're doing, but work to emulate them the best that you can in your own way, in reflecting your own mission statement. So find what you're good at, find what you care about, and connect that with all of your posts, all of your story, and make sure that's what you're putting on every day so that it is real and as passionate as possible. And that's what's gonna get people to connect to you. Comment on other posts, engage with other people as much as you can, respond to everything, and that's really, I wish I could give you a fancier recipe than that. That's really it. And if you just stick with that, which takes a little bit of dedication, you will grow and you will get a good response.
I think that's great advice. Number one, stay consistent. Number two, make sure you're engaging with the people who are engaging with you. And number three, make it personal. Showcase who you are, what you're about, and what you hope other people get out of your page. If you do that with consistency, if you do it with consistent engagement, you're gonna find success on the platform over time. Grant, great job with the channel. If you have not checked him out, where can people see Rehab Fix?
So on Instagram, I'm at Rehab Fix, and then also we just launched our website, therehabfix.com, where we have an online low back program as well as online consultations for those individuals that aren't local to the Tampa area.
There you go. Be sure to check out Rehab Fix on Instagram. And for Dr. Jeff Langmaid, this is Grant Elliott. We'll see you very soon. Bye-bye. Hey, what's going on? If you loved that video, be sure to subscribe to this channel. The Evidence Based Chiropractor puts out videos all the time at the intersection of marketing and research, showing you how to grow your practice while also growing your knowledge base. So if you liked it, be sure to comment down below or hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.